Royston Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to use my time today talking about parliamentary procedure or the detail of the various options to withdraw from the EU. I will leave that to others to do. What I want to talk about today is about trust, not the trust in MPs, as the honourable member for Tottenham has just alluded to, but for the trust in the electorate, as my honourable friend, the member for Mid-Norfolk, spoke about. In 1997, Mr. Speaker, like many others, I was unhappy that Tony Blair became the Prime Minister, but I didn't start campaigning for a people's vote to remove him. And the same in 2001 and the same in 2005. In fact, I think it's the same in 2010 and 15 and 17 that the opposition would have been disappointed in the outcome of the election, but they didn't start campaigning for a people's vote to overturn it. And why? It's because we accept votes in this country, Mr. Speaker, and we should accept this one. In June 2016, which is the point of this whole debate, the British people were given a say on our future relationship with the EU through a simple in-out referendum. We chose to leave. The numbers who voted, or the margin of majority, are irrelevant. The question was put and the answer was given. It should come as no surprise that in a contest some people will be disappointed. We should not dismiss their concerns. We should instead try to be as accommodating as possible. And that's what people have been talking about today. But we must stay true. We must stay true to the referendum result. We have a duty to do that. I will.
I'm very grateful for my honourable friend giving way. Does he accept that when Vote Leave registered, they were registering for a simple out vote, but said that they were not confining themselves to a particular form of out? Yep. And that it would be up to MPs to decide how that result was implemented?
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the honourable lady intervening, but it's not for me to talk about what Vote Leave decided. It's for me to talk about what I think, and it's for me to talk about what my constituents think. Mr. Speaker, everyone in the Conservative Party, everyone, including the honourable lady, stood on the 2015 manifesto. They promised to give the British public a straightforward in-out referendum. Everyone who voted in December 2015 to legislate for that referendum did so promising to honour the result. Everyone who voted and campaigned in the referendum did so in the spirit of what had been agreed before the vote took place, and again promised to honour the result. At least I assume they did. You can imagine, can't you, that people were wandering around campaigning for in or for out, but saying to their constituents and friends, whatever happens, if we don't win, we'll just renege on the result. Of course they didn't. They campaigned saying they would honour the result. Everyone in here who voted to trigger Article 50, everyone in here who voted to pass the withdrawal, not everyone did, everyone who did. Everyone who did. If we listen, then you can intervene on me. Everyone in here who voted to trigger Article 50, everyone in here who voted to pass the Withdrawal Act did so because at that time they were doing what they promised they would do to their electorate. Mr. Speaker, in 2017, the two major parties both stood on manifestos which promised to honour the result. In my Southampton Itchen constituency, the Conservative and Labour candidates shared 93% of the vote. Two parties who promised to honour the result of the referendum shared almost the entire vote, with all the other parties losing their deposits. Almost every Conservative and Labour member in here has promised to deliver Brexit at one time or another. At the time, those that supported Remain accepted the wording of the referendum. At no time did they say the results need to be a particular majority or the consequences need to be spelt out. And why was that? Well, quite obviously because Remain voters thought they would win. Mr. Speaker, I thought they would win, and I campaigned and voted to leave, but I thought they would win. The country has followed this soap opera now, Mr. Speaker, for 2 years. They have joined us on this journey, beginning with the referendum, followed by a prime ministerial resignation, a new Prime Minister, a general election, Lancaster House, Florence, Brexit means Brexit, no deal is better than a bad deal, a delayed vote, a vote of confidence in the Prime Minister, and finally, this deal, or no Brexit at all. Mr. Speaker, no Brexit at all is not an option. This place voted for the referendum and promised to honour the result. This place voted to trigger Article 50 and in so doing reconfirmed to the British public that our democracy is more important than political convenience. We all accepted the terms before the campaign started, and if members fail to implement the result or attempt to frustrate the will of the people, they are not Democrats, and I've no idea, Mr. Speaker, why they are here. I would like to offer some clarity. I would like to offer some clarity to those government ministers who appear on the Today programme saying that people like me know what they don't want but not what they do. I met with the Prime Minister and I couldn't have been clearer. I want a deal. But as it stands, I don't want her deal. The Prime Minister promised to protect our precious union. Her deal doesn't do that because it treats one part of our union different to other parts. So for those who repeat that people like me know what we don't want but not what we do, I'll say it again. Take the backstop out and I will compromise again and reluctantly vote for the deal. Mr. Speaker, this has been a dark time in our nation's history. It has laid bare the divisions in our country, and by reneging on the promises we made to the British public, we will plunge our country into an even darker place. And I wouldn't blame the voters if they never trusted a politician again. Many of the people outside of this place believe that politicians are untrustworthy. They think we spend most of our time talking to ourselves and not caring about what they think. Mr. Speaker, if we fail to honour the result of the most important vote in living memory, we will prove them right, and I will have no part in that. I made promises to my constituents, and I fully intend to honour them, whatever that takes. Mr. Speaker, I would rather lose my seat, honour my commitments to my constituents and preserve what integrity is left in this place than behave as so many others are in their own self-interest.